How's it going, everybody? I'm Nikki Delventhal, and this is my dog, Camper Delventhal. We lived in a Prius full-time for 3 years, but now we're in a 4x4 Sprinter. And we're here to take you along on the wild ride. So fasten up your seatbelts and let's have some fun. Don't forget, if you like what you see, like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and turn on notifications. Camper and I would be so thankful. On last week's episode, Sarah, Camper, and I start our morning with a hike to a natural water slide. It was so much fun, and we used bags as sleds to go faster. Next, we hit Sandpoint, Idaho to taste the famous Huckleberry ice cream, check out the local town, then found our way to camp out at Walmart for the night. We leave off our adventures exploring more of the area, having coffee and breakfast, and hitting the local beach, and then say goodbye to Cousin Sarah. Now, you may already know this, but health and wellness is extremely important to me, and this goes beyond the physical. I've always found mental health to be a high priority. Every one of us knows challenges and struggle, but even when things are going well, sometimes it's nice to just have someone to talk to. And because I genuinely believe in therapy, I'm super excited to announce today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and accessible, especially for people like me who are remote and on the go. Here's how it works. You'll go online, you'll answer a few questions, and as little as a few days, they'll match you with a therapist. Now, finding the perfect therapist is a little bit like dating. You might have to try a few before you find that perfect fit. But what I love about BetterHelp is that you could switch to a new therapist for free without the stress of anything insurance related. If you're considering therapy or just looking for a change, go to betterhelp.com/Nikki Delventhal. Not only does using that link help out Camper and I, but you'll get 10% off your first month of therapy. Also, I'll put the link below in the description. All right, back on our adventure. Morning, good boy. We didn't sleep very well last night. There were alerts going off that there was immediate evacuation in the area for wildfires, which were about an hour east, but it was so scary, and spent a few hours just making sure it wasn't gonna spread over here, and what a wake-up call. But on a good note, the wildfires did not spread over here, and we are at the beautiful Mercedes-Benz dealership. Woohoo! Oh, like a glove. Mushroom. MCT oil. Agave. Collagen. Make it frothy, honey. Oh yeah, look at that. It's like a latte. So, long story short, last week, Camper and I were driving and I don't know, it just kind of felt funny. And I noticed the oil levels were dropping. So I said, you know what, better safe than sorry. Let's go get it checked out. So we called the dealership in Eugene, Oregon, and they were able to get us in the exact same day, which is amazing, but we do have quite a few issues. We have EGR problems, we need to change the light in the mirror, and we ripped a hole in the boot, yikes, possibly from off-roading. This is just part of living in a vehicle. You're gonna have car problems and you have to adapt. Had this been a job that could take 2 weeks or upward, which is very common on a lot of vehicles like this, we probably would have opted for a rental car or a hotel, but we are super lucky and these guys can get this done in just a few days. We'll go over any pros and cons that I've learned and any regrets that I have owning and living in a brand new Sprinter. But in the meantime, let's get checked in and maybe extend that warranty package. Treat her well.
Will do.
Looks like Camper's getting up front. You ready, Camper? All right, friends, before it gets too hot, which by the way, today is gonna be a whopping 105 degrees or more, we are gonna go on a little hike and get our energy out. All right, here we are. All right, we are taking about a 3.5 mile hike to the top of Mount Pisgah. Hopefully we'll get some views and it's not too smoky because we will get 360 of the area. it to the top. It is so quiet and eerie with the smoke and that smell. I really hope they can get these wildfires under wraps. Look at this view. All right, you guys, you can feel the heat starting to come in. So we're gonna hightail back down to the bottom to meet Rod, and we'll see you all there. Look at that, perfect timing. Thanks for getting us again.
Oh, my pleasure.
Oh, that was
Perfect
so cool.
timing.
Yeah. All right, Rod, you want some breakfast?
Sounds good.
Love that.
Yeah.
We're here. I'll be right back, okay, mister? I am so excited. And we got some goodies for the guys at Mercedes. All right, little taste tester of the coffee. I like that. All right, after you, dude. Thank you. All right, this is for you. And whoever else wants it.
Okay, well, thank you. That was
No
very nice of you.
problem.
Appreciate it.
Of course. All right, Camp, you ready? Let's go have our breakfast. That looks good. All right, we've determined that the coffee is amazing and the breakfast scramble, highly recommended. So the rest of the day is going to be a whole lot of work, sitting around, waiting for the car to be done and beating the heat. So we'll see you on the other side.
Photogenic, so you gotta have.
Look at this clean van. Yeah, thank you. Oh, somebody's ready to be home. All right, you guys, it is time to find a place to sleep. And the smoke in the air is so intense, and it is 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so we're gonna have to do some driving. The only place that's clear right now within a 2-hour radius is the coast, so the coast we go. Right next to a bunch of other campers. Now that is my kind of spot. It's dinner time, mother truckers. What are we gonna have? My head's too big for this. All right, quinoa, black beans, and veggies it is. And you're supposed to measure this stuff, but So there are pros and cons to owning a Sprinter van, just as there is for any other vehicle. In a previous video, I went over why I chose a Sprinter van over other vehicles, but now that I've actually owned it and gone through a lot of the steps and the maintenance and stuff like that, I can get a little bit more in depth in it. One thing I was told was that Mercedes doesn't have as many specialists to work on vehicles, so that could mean longer wait times, or if you're traveling and maybe not at your main shop, it could be much harder to get an appointment. Another thing to think about, you can't just go to any shop. You have to go to a Mercedes dealership or partner. Otherwise, that voids your warranties. It's like that at most dealerships, but just something to think about if you're traveling. Another thing I heavily thought about was that Mercedes is expensive and it's proprietary. And parts aren't as readily available as you're usually ordering them to your needs, which could mean more downtime. I love my Sprinter van. This is still my #1 choice for full-time living on the road. It's sleek, it fits in a compact parking spot because it's a lot thinner. I love the look, I love the low and high gear 4x4. It really is such a capable vehicle and it's easy to drive. You know, you take the pros and the cons, but right now for us, for full-time living, this is my favorite choice. All right, camper, you tired? It's time for bed, you guys. Good night, camper. I love you. Good night, everyone. It's never ending. Hello, camper. Check out that view. One, two, both legs right into the front. A 3. Whoosh. Oh my goodness, you guys, I love being on the coast. It feels so good. And another thing that makes me feel so good is a fresh latte. And I know just the place right up the road. Oh, forgot the keys. Now we can go. We made it to Yahat, so we're just finding a parking spot, and conveniently there's also a farmer's market today. All right, we're gonna do a little reverse action into the spot here. All right, camp, you ready for coffee in a farmer's market? I am. Yes, good boy. This morning we are having breakfast at the Green Salmon. They are famous for their vegan dishes, and although I am not a vegan, I can appreciate some good coffee and some good breakfast. Cashier had some good judgment. She picked our favorite, a breakfast sandwich. Sausage, egg, and cheese, but make it vegan. I know. We're gonna save the rest for later because we've got a farmer's market to get to. All right, back to the van. All right, we gotta squeeze in here. Back it up, back it up. You guys, I am such a sucker for a good farmer's market. That was so much fun. But now I think it's time to get on the beach and go romp around, and I have just the spot. All right, Camtastic, you ready? To the beach, and not just any ordinary beach, an Oregon coastal beach. Forests, rugged terrain. Oh, I can't wait to show you. Let's go. Backup cameras are so worth the investment. Like a glove. I follow you! Hi! That was so cute. You guys, if you ever see us on the road, please say hello. It makes our day. But in the meantime, we are taking you on a typical Oregon hike. Lush forest, beautiful rugged coastline. It's gonna be a blast. I love this. Deb came to say hi.
Hi.
So we're gonna do the hike together today.
Awesome.
I love this, Deb.
This is so great.
Mason, you ready? Camper, you ready? All right, let's hit the trail, boys. So being on the road full time, community is something that you kind of are missing pretty often. So when stuff like this happens, it feels really, really good.
That's awesome.
I love this. Our new friend. All right, you guys, we are going to continue to enjoy this beautiful Oregon coast, and we'll see you all back here next week. Have a good one. See you, bye, camper.